made it. Another episode. Welcome to another episode of Stay Home and Yoga Strong. I don't know why I feel so excited today. I just do. So I hope you do too. And if not, hopefully this will make you feel excited. So welcome. So today I was thinking a lot about the difference between a yoga class and just a regular fitness class. Maybe there's no regular fitness class, but what makes yoga, even a yoga fitness class, different than just fitness? And there's something different about it. It's about being as much or more about the doing. So today is really about being human beings rather than the human doing. This class, there's a lot of doing. Without a doubt, there's a lot of doing. But in the doing, there's the connection between the breath and the movement. It's mindful movement. It's more about being mindful than the movement itself. So today there's no music, there's no external distractions. It's just you and your movement in your body, and as much being in your body as doing in your body. Having said that, we're going to start lying down. So go ahead and lie down on your mat and find yourself in a place where you can just be. There's no doing. A place that's comfortable, where you don't need any muscles to hold your body up. Maybe your legs are straight, maybe your knees are bent, your feet on the mat. If your feet are a little wider than hip width, your knees can just kind of knock in, so you're not holding anything up. You can simply be. And notice how it feels to simply be in your body. Maybe do a mental scan from the top to bottom and just notice the places where you're holding tension, places where you feel some tightness, feel some gripping, and see if you can release that. With your breath, have your inhale be whatever it is, and extend your exhales a little bit longer. And see with your exhales if you can tap into those places that are holding and invite them to soften. Just an invitation, nothing forced. Maybe as you count your inhales, maybe you inhale to 4, maybe pause at the top, and then see if your exhale can extend longer. Maybe your count is to 6, or maybe to 8. Maybe your exhale can be twice as long as your inhale. And just notice what subtle shifts, or maybe not so subtle shifts, you feel in your mind or in your body as you slow your exhales down. Wherever you are, one more inhale, and open your mouth and sigh your exhale out, letting it all go. From here, hug both knees into your chest. Maybe your tailbone lifts. Maybe draw your forehead to your knees, curl up like a little ball, and release. Extend your right leg long. Draw your left knee into your chest, circling your ankle both directions. Letting your knee open to the left. And then as you exhale, drop your left knee over to the right, maybe gazing to the left. Maybe a full body twist if it feels right in your body this morning. Coming back to center, hugging both knees in. Hold on to the right knee, extend your left leg and switch sides. Circling your ankle both directions. On an inhale, open your right knee up to the right. And as you exhale, your knee crosses over to your left, gazing to your right. Back to center. Hug both knees in. Again, maybe tailbone lifts. And release. Feet down on your mat, knees are bent. Clasp your hands behind your head. Elbows are slightly lifted. Your low ribs are pulling down towards your pelvis and your mid-back is pressing down into your mat. So we're going to start by warming up our core. Inhale here and exhale, lift your chin and chest up toward the ceiling. Pausing at the top, really drawing those low ribs down towards your pelvis, keeping the tension there as you slowly lower your head and shoulders down towards the mat and exhale, press back up. So mindful that your ribs stay down. Just notice, you can even put one hand on your ribs and notice if your ribs flare up. You want to avoid this, right? So your low back, mid back is still pressing into the mat. Do 2 more. And release. Stacking your knees over your hips, flex your feet. We'll do 5 more just like that, starting with your ribs down and your mid back pressing into the mat. Inhale here, exhale, lift chin and chest. Inhale, lower. Squeeze at the top. Moving with your breath. Mindful movements. Being in your body as we're doing. Last one. This time, knees and elbows pull together, tailbone lifts. Feet press up toward the ceiling, tailbone lifts. Back to knees and elbows. That's the movement here. Slow and controlled and mindful. We're not flinging our bodies around. Not yet anyway. Press up, press in, press up. One more time, knees and elbows. Last time, feet up. Holding here, slowly lowering your heels down to the floor. Only so far as you can keep your mid and low back pasted to the mat. If that becomes difficult, bend your knees or don't lower your feet as far. Holding at your bottom, wherever you are, nice and strong in a hollow body hold. And then knees and elbows together, feet press up. 2 more times, knees and elbows, feet press up. Last time. And then slowly lowering your heels back to the floor. Hollow body hold here, nice and strong. Front body is on. And release, knees into your chest. We're going to roll ourselves up to boat pose. So rolling up to seated. Your feet can be down, your feet can be lifted. What matters most is the length of your spine. So keeping your chest nice and open with feet lifted or not. Holding here in high boat, and then shifting to low boat, which was that hollow body hold, which we just did. You can keep your arms at your side, or maybe arms up above, tracking next to your ears. Back to low boat, back to high boat. Open through the chest. So feet up or down, right hand reaches behind, tapping really far back on your mat, and then back to high boat. Left arm reaches behind, back to high boat. Each time you come back to high boat, make sure that your chest is staying open so we're not rounding through our spine when we're in high boat, if it helps to keep your feet down. So every time you come back, chest presses forward, spine is long. One more time each side with breath. Inhale, exhale. Back to high boat. Inhale here. Exhale to low boat. Almost done. Maybe hollow body hold. Arms at your sides or behind you. Back to low boat. And relax on down. Whew. Arms out in a T or a goalpost arms. Together, both knees fall to the right. Maybe gazing over to the left. Back through center and switch sides. One more time, both directions. Coming back to center and roll yourself up and over onto all fours, meeting in tabletop. Letting your belly drop to the mat, tailbone lifts, chest lifts, gazing forward or up into cow pose, and exhale, rounding your spine into cat pose. Press your palms down into the mat, shoulders separate, spine really rounding up toward the ceiling. Inhale, cow, and exhale, cat. Moving with your own breath, being in your body. Finding neutral spine and pressing back to child's pose, hips to heels. If this is troublesome on your knees, you can keep your hips stacked, walk your hands forward and drop your chest. This is puppy pose. So child's pose or puppy pose, whatever's best in your body. Coming back to tabletop and thread the needle. Left palm stays down. Inhale, sweep the right arm up, maybe gaze follows. And exhale, slide your right arm all the way through, resting down on your shoulder, maybe the side of your head. You can press down into the mat with your left palm, give yourself more of a twist, or maybe lift your arm up and over to the small of your back, or reaching towards the front of the opposite hip. In the twist, big inhale and a long exhale. Unwinding yourself to that counter twist, right arm lifts up, inhale, and exhale back to tabletop, and we'll switch sides. Inhale, lifts the left arm, and exhale, slides it through all the way, resting down on your mat. Again, maybe pressing down with your right palm, more of a twist, or maybe lifting up and over to your small of your back, or maybe opposite hip. Inhale and long exhale. Unwind your way back to tabletop and one more round of cat-cow. And back to tabletop. Walking forward to extended tabletop. Top of a push-up from your knees, not letting your belly sag, but keeping that nice strong core. Your low ribs are pulling towards your pelvis, just like when we were laying down. We have 3 push-ups here. Keeping your elbows close to your ribs. Press down with the index finger knuckle as you inhale, lower, and exhale, press up. Keeping a nice strong plank. Inhale at the top and exhale all the way down to your belly. From here, press down with your palms to inhale, lift up into baby cobra. Chest lifting forward. Elbows are pulling down to your waist and behind. Strong through your back body. And exhale down. One more time, just like that. Press down to lift up. Strength of your mid and upper back, lifting your heart forward. And exhale down. This time, maybe hovering your palms. Inhale and sweep up into baby cobra without the use of your hands, just the strength of your back. Keeping your core on, tops of your feet pressing down. The whole back body is really on. Inhale here. And exhale down, pressing all the way back to child's pose or puppy pose. From here, curl your toes under, lifting your hips up and back, keeping your knees bent into our first downward dog. So really focusing on the space between your wrists and your tailbone, finding that length. How long can you get in your spine? Keeping your knees bent, so it's not about the length in the back of your legs. Walking your dog, lifting one heel, bending one knee, starting to open up through the backs of your legs, your calves, your hamstrings. Both heels lift, big inhale. Press your chest towards your thighs as you exhale, float your heels down to the mat. From here, shifting forward into plank. You can always take plank from knees. So we have 3 push-ups here from knees or toes. Again, pressing into the knuckle of your index finger and elbows stay close to your ribs. Inhale down, exhale, press up. One more time. Top of your plank. Inhale here and exhale all the way down to your belly. Inhaling up back into baby cobra, maybe full cobra, extending your arms, drawing your shoulders away from your ears, maybe pressing down with the tops of your feet to lift your knees, letting your hips drop more into up dog. So those are options for back bends. You can always skip them. Inhale here and exhale, hinging back all the way to downward dog. Shifting back forward into plank. Widen your feet and narrowing a little bit of your hands. Nice and strong plank. So drawing your wrists towards each other and towards your toes or your knees if you're on your knees. Option here, we'll do opposite shoulder taps. So right hand to left shoulder, back to plank. You can do this from your knees. Opposite, back to plank. See if you can stabilize everything in your body. So the only thing moving is that arm, that hand towards the opposite shoulder. Hips stay level. Core is on. One more time each side. Back to regular plank. Inhale at the top and exhale down through your back bend, whatever you choose. And then all the way back to downward dog. Next time you inhale, lift your right heel up and back, three-legged dog. And exhale, knee to chest, nose to knee, and squeeze. Curl your spine just like cat pose. Inhale up and back. And exhale, bring your right foot between your hands. And the left knee comes gently down. Inhale, sweeping your arms up. And exhale into cactus arms as you shift your chest through your arms. So lunging forward slightly. Your back knee is drawing towards the front foot. And the front foot is coming back. So this is kind of clamping together. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, glide forward, drawing your knee and your foot together. So the back hip, there's a stretch, but also a strength. Let's do one more. Squeeze forward. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Curl your back toes under, lift your back knee, and draw your feet together. Inhale here, and exhale, straightening through that front knee. Keeping a bend, not over straightening, nice and easy. Inhale, rock forward, and exhale, press back. Just warming up through our legs. Keep drawing your feet together here. Draw your feet together as you shift forward and pause. Left palm stays down. Inhale, twisting open. Right fingertips really reaching up toward the ceiling. And the right hand comes down. Pivot the back foot and we'll twist open towards the opposite side. Left arm lifts up. Back to runner's lunge. And then we're going to walk our hands to the long side of the mat. I'm going to turn around so you can see me here. So walking your hands to the long side of the mat, shifting one side then the other. Your hands can stay down on your mat for support. Shifting side to side, keeping your hips back so that your knees stay tracking over your ankles or the middle of your foot. Maybe you don't need your hands. Again, warming up in our legs. One side, then the other. Walking back to that runner's lunge. So framing your front foot, the back heel pops up. Front foot to meet the back in plank. Option for a single leg plank. Remember, we're staying in being, even though we're doing. This is a lot of doing. Option to stay here or add a push up. Inhale down, exhale up. Again, from knees, both feet can be down. You can always skip the push-ups and then switch sides. Single leg push-up. Exhale as you press up. Both feet down or from your knees. Inhale at the top and exhale all the way down to your belly. Tops of your feet press down. Arms extend forward. Lifting up, grabbing an imaginary bar. Inhale here. Exhale, drive your elbows down to your waist and slightly behind. Maybe lifting your chest like baby cobra. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, drive back. Keeping your low ribs pulled down so that your low back is quiet and the lift comes from the mid and upper back. You can always keep your nose to the ground if it's troubling your low back at all. Let's do two more. Hands on either side of your ribs. Curl your toes under from knees or toes. Press up and back to downward dog. Exhale here. Next, inhale, lift your left heel up and back. And exhale, knee to nose. Curl up and be strong in this little ball. Core is lifting your leg toward your chest. Inhale, up and back. And exhale, left foot between your hands and the right knee comes gently down. Drawing your knee and your foot together as you lift up. Cactus arms as you rock yourself forward. Inhale and exhale, glide forward. One more. Hands down, curl your back toes under, lifting your back knee, drawing your feet together. Inhale here and exhale, straightening through the front leg, nose towards your knee. Rocking forward on the inhale and pressing back on your exhale. Using your breath with your movements to stay in the being of the movements. Rocking forward, drawing your feet together, right hand stays down, inhale, sweeps your left arm up, and exhale, switching sides. Pivoting your foot, right arm twists up. Both hands down, again to the long side of your mat, heels in, toes out, shifting back and forth. Maybe you keep your hips low, side to side, or maybe you lift up in between. Again, keeping your hips pressing back. One more time towards the back of the mat, and then coming back towards that runner's lunge, back heel pops up. Front foot to meet the back. Widen your feet, maybe slightly narrow in your hands. Find that strong plank. You can also do this from your knees. Maybe lift the right toes, maybe lift the left arm. Finding stability. Keep breathing. Whew. Back to plank. Find your center. Stabilize here and then maybe switch sides. Left foot lifts. Maybe right arm reaches forward. Finding stability in your hips, in your midline. Back to plank. Feet more narrow, hands more wide. Maybe you're on your toes. Let's do 3 push-ups. Inhale down, exhale up. Slow and controlled with your breath. From here, inhale at the top, either right to downward dog or maybe through a back bend. Checking in with your shoulders, making sure you're not overdoing. And back to downward dog. Bend your knees, walk your way to the top of your mat, finding forward fold. Release your head and neck. Release your spine, letting gravity hold your head, pulling it down. Hands on your shins, inhale to a flat back, gazing straight down, keeping the length in the back of your neck. And exhale into chair, hips drop, chest lifts, arms come forward. Pulling your knees and feet away from one another. Super strong and solid in your chair. Press down to rise up, big inhale, and exhale, palms to heart center. Inhale, sweep up, and exhale, swan dive down. Releasing your head and neck. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms and step back to downward dog. Next, inhale, lift your right heel up and back. Exhale, knee to nose. Pause here. The right knee taps straight down and pulls straight back up for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, up and back, 3-legged dog, and exhale, right foot between your hands, coming up into a high lunge. So the back heel is lifted, feet are pulling together. A slight bend in your back knee so that your tailbone can pull down towards the floor and your core can stay on in the front, so your pelvis and your ribs are coming towards one another. So it's a lot of effort for your legs, especially as they pull together and hold. See what you can release. Do a body scan and see the areas where you're holding where you don't have to. See if you can use your breath to release the tension, maybe in your jaw, maybe the back of your neck. Tension where you need it, not where you don't. Inhale here and exhale, hands down to the mat, front foot to meet the back. We're in plank. Maybe move through a back bend or straight to downward dog. Exhale when you get there. Next, inhale, lift your left heel up and back. Exhale, knee to nose, squeeze and hold. Left knee goes straight down, taps your mat, and presses up for 3, 2, 1. Inhale up and back. And exhale, bring your left foot between your hands, coming up into a high lunge. Drawing your feet together, slight bend in your knee, core is on. Use that exhale to release that tension. Building tension where it serves you, where you need it to stabilize. Inhale here, exhale, hands to your mat, front foot to meet the back. From plank, knees or toes, 3 more push-ups. Exhale as you press up. So these push-ups are always optional. I know I throw a lot of them in there. You never have to do any of them. Inhale at the top and exhale all the way down to your belly. Back to those rows, arms extended. Inhale, exhale, drive your elbows down, lifting your chest up. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, drive. Let's do 3 more. Last one. Hands on either side of your ribs. From knees and toes, we press up and back to downward dog. Bend your knees, making your way to the top of your mat. Forward fold. Release your head and neck. Release the tension. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale into chair, that strong chair. Press down to rise up. Big inhale. Exhale, palms to your heart. Walk your feet slightly closer together. Inhale, sweep up, and exhale down into chair. Pulling your knees and feet away from one another, keeping your core on so you're not set, you're not doing this. Don't do this. Don't bow in your low back. Placing all of the weight into your left foot, we're going to step back with our right foot and tap behind us, and then back up to chair. So maybe there's very little weight, or hardly any or none, on those right toes as you step back. It's more of a tap back. One more. And this time stepping back to high lunge. So the back toes land, shifting so that weight is evenly distributed, front and back foot, and draw your feet together. High lunge. Arms up, core on, draw your feet together. Maybe hands back to your heart, stepping back up to chair. Tap, and then 5 more tap backs. Woo! Good morning, legs. 2 more. And back to chair. Settling into a steady chair. Notice the difference between the left and the right. Shifting all the way to the right foot. Now we're going to step back with the left toes. It could be a step back. It could just be a tap back. Two more. And back to chair. Ooh, high lunge. Back to the right foot, the left toe step back. Finding high lunge. So equal distribution of weight. Drawing your feet together. Arms lift. Core is on. Low ribs stay down. When our arms go up, sometimes our ribs want to go with them. So keep them down. Hands back to your heart, back to chair. And 5 more tap backs. Left toes, tap back and forward. 3 more. Last 2. Last 1. And now back to chair. Feet and knees pulling away from one another. We're still on. Lots of doing down here. See about being with the relaxation in your face, in your neck, maybe your shoulders relax as your legs are still on. From here, standing all the way up, and back down into that strong chair. All the way up and back down. Option when you come up to come up onto your toes, really pressing the crown of your head up toward the ceiling. Back down into chair and press up. Slow down, slow and controlled, and press up. So the up is quick, the down is slow and controlled. Quick, slow down. Inhale down and exhale quick. Inhale and exhale quick. 3 more. 2, last one. Back to chair. See if you can lower your hips a little bit more, still driving your feet and knees away from one another. Inhale here and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step back to downward dog. Pressing your chest through your arms. Inhale, lifting your heels, and exhale, floating your heels down towards the floor. From here, shifting forward into plank. Widen your feet, hands a little more narrow. Options to stay here, so driving your feet and your wrists towards each other, so everything's coming in towards midline. Or finding that plank bird dog again. So left leg lifts, maybe right arm lifts. Inhale here, maybe exhale, knee and elbow to crunch together. Inhale, extend. Woo, exhale, crunch together. This also requires a little bit of a sense of humor, I think. Not taking yourself so lightly. Taking yourself lightly. One more, inhale long, exhale crunch. Find the length, and then back to plank. Woo! Let's do the second side. So right leg lifts, maybe left arm, inhale here, exhale crunch. Be kind and gentle with yourself. 3 more. Last one, crunch. Finding the length, and back to plank. Awesome. Through a back bend or straight to downward dog. Bend your knees, making your way to the top of your mat. Forward fold. Release your head and neck. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale into chair. Press down to rise up. Big inhale. Exhale, palms to your heart. Feet come a little bit closer together again. Inhale, sweep up, and exhale down into chair. Same thing, strong through your feet and legs. Stepping back with the left toes. So all the weight's on the right foot. Step back with the left toes, finding that high lunge. And then we're going to move into warrior 3. So pressing forward on that front foot. So keeping your chest open as your hips hinge. Your chest draws closer to the mat. And your back leg maybe lifts up higher. Keeping your back toes pointing down. And as best you can, keeping your hips pointing down towards the mat. From here, we're going to bend the front leg and press back up for 5. 3, 2, 1. The back knee and the front knee are going to bend together, single leg squat. Back to warrior 3 and hinge together. 3, oops, no, that's 4. 3, 2, 1. Pausing in a ball. That bent knee, the left knee is going to slide down towards the mat and then press back up to the knee. Woo! For 3, 2, 1. Back to warrior 3. Wow. You guys still with me here? Okay, from warrior 3, we're going to shift into half moon. So the right arm comes down, the left arm lifts up, and the hips stack. So the left hip stacks over the right, opening your hips toward the long edge of your mat, flexing your foot and pressing your back heel towards the back of your mat. You can gaze down, gaze forward, maybe gaze up towards your top hand. From here, back to warrior three. Back toes come down, high lunge, inhale. Exhale, hands to your mat, front foot to meet your back. Into plank. Woo, how about that? Okay, shifting into side plank. So you can drop your left knee like a kickstand into side plank this way, or keep both legs extended. Your choice. From here, we're gonna shift into forearm plank. So the right arm's gonna bend, nice and strong through that shoulder. You're gonna place your forearm down and then shift the opposite way into forearm plank. You can always take the top foot and place it down for support. Okay, so that's the flow. We're gonna go from side plank on the right to high plank on the left. Nice and slow and controlled. Back to forearm plank on the right. Keep pressing that top hip up, whatever top hip is on top. Back to high plank on the left. One more time, side plank on the right. And back to full plank, knees or toes. Throw in some push-ups, back bend, or making your way to downward dog. Whatever you choose, whatever you feel like you need right now. Okay, second side. Left heel lifts up and back. Nope, both feet down. We started in chair. Bend your knees, walk your way to the top of your mat, forward fold, release. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale into chair. Here we are. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing, second side. So the left foot stays put, the right toes go back, finding high lunge. From here, shifting into warrior three, pressing up. So your left leg is straight, and you're hinging at your hips, your chest stays open. Back toes are down. That left knee is gonna bend and press. Here we are, side two. Got three more. Two. Last one. Okay, now both knees bend together and squeeze like a little ball, and then back to warrior three. Three more. The back knee stays bent and then slides down towards the mat and press back up. For 3, 2, 1. Woo, back to warrior three, and then finding half moon. The left hand comes down, the right hip stacks on top, right hand lifts up toward the ceiling, pressing your back heel towards the back of your mat, maybe gazing down, forward, or maybe up towards your top hand. Okay, from here, back to warrior three. Back to high lunge, nice and slow. Inhale, nice job. And exhale down to plank. And we're going to do the opposite side. So we're going to shift onto the right first. So side plank on the right. Again, the bottom knee can come down for support. And then shifting into forearm plank. So the left forearm is going to come down, shifting into forearm side plank. Back to side plank on the right. Listening to your body. Come down to your knees if you need to, or skip this altogether if this troubles your shoulders, if it's just not working in your body. Holding plank, great option. Side high plank, what's that? High side plank. Side forearm plank. And then back to plank. Knees or toes, again, your options. Push-ups, back bend, straight to downward dog. From here, we're going to walk our feet wide on the outsides of our hands, however you get there. It could be in one hop, it could be lots of steps. Coming into a wide squat at the top of your mat. Your hands can be down. If they don't reach the ground, no worries. Pressing your knees and elbows into each other. So your knees are pressing in, your elbows are pressing out, and it will activate your core. So this is a prep for crow pose. So notice what it takes to hold this. And then in a bit, we're going to do this on our hands, not our feet. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what that looks like. But this is really, really engages the core. So just notice that. From here, we're going to press down with our feet to rise all the way up in a stand, and then back down to that deep squat, knees wide. So your knees are tracking over your feet, your chest stays lifted. Inhale as you're down, and exhale, press down with your feet to rise up. Inhale, pressing your knees out, and exhale, press down to rise up. 3 more. Last one. Squat down, plant your hands, step back to plank. We're going to do a minute of easy mountain climbers. So you can do this from your knees as well, driving one knee at a time towards your chest, staying strong and stable through your shoulders and your hips. So it's not a bounce. We're not using momentum to drive our knees. We're using our intentional movement and our breath, staying in our being with this movement. Let's do 15 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From plank, moving through a back bend or straight to downward dog, your choice. Bend your knees, make your way to the top of your mat, forward fold. Release your head and neck. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale through chair to rise all the way up. Big inhale, and exhale, palms to your heart. Okay, we've made it to out of breath. We're gonna put yoga on the shelf for a moment and now move into movement to become out of breath. We're no longer movement with breath. So it's 20 seconds of 100% of your effort, followed by 10 seconds of rest for 8 rounds. And the movements are gonna be this deep squat or the wide squat. It doesn't have to be deep. The wide squat followed by mountain climbers. So we just did those movements. So your body already knows what to do. So then you can just be in it. This is the get ready beep. So when your body just knows, you don't have to think, you can just be in the movement. Okay, so here we are, those squats, maybe a little bit faster than we were doing before. The idea is 100% of your effort. So the first one, maybe just feel it out, see how you feel today. What's your 100% today? It might be different than the last time. You might have more, you might not. Okay, that was 20 seconds. You got that. Now we got mountain climbers. So from here, even though it's faster, see if you can keep the bounce out of your shoulders so you're not rocking back and forth. So the movement is really driven by your core, driving your knees to your chest. You can do this fast without much of a bounce at all. Staying mindful in the movements, but lifting your heart rate, lifting your inner heat, and relax. All right. Those 10 seconds, take opportunity to breathe. And then we move back into it. All right, 100%. Now that you know what it feels like, maybe kick it up a notch, right? Out of breath. Your 100%. Keep your knees pressing out and drive your feet down as you rise up. Standing all the way up, nice and tall. Back to mountain climbers. All right, here we go. Okay, maybe this one's a little bit faster. Check your shoulders. Strong and stable. Pressing your hands into the mat. Great foundation. Heading up the mountain. And breathe. Halfway. Okay, back to squats. We're over halfway there. So kick it up. If you have it in you, if you're not 100%, this is it. These are the ones. We're here together, driving ourselves, being in the movement. You don't have to think about it and stop. Your body knows what to do. Mountain climbers. Here we go. Almost there. Almost at the top of that mountain. It's so beautiful up there. It's majestic, powerful, peaceful, strong. We're heading up. You are all those things. Relax. And breathe. Back to squats. Here we are. Strong, steady, determined. Moving in the body is doing, but also being. Almost there. Okay, last one. Let's get to the top of this mountain. Here we go. Become the mountain. You are the mountain. Strong, powerful, mighty, peaceful. You got it. We're almost there. We are there. Nice. Well done. Coming back, finding mountain pose. The mountain can live inside you. Feel the bottoms of your feet grounded. Your spine growing tall, rising up. Notice your breath. Cultivating those longer exhales, slowing your heart rate back down. Inhale, sweeping your arms up, and slow your exhale as you draw your hands to your heart. Even just thinking slow. Inhale, sweep your arms up, slow, hands to your heart. And one more. Inhale, and slow, hands to heart. Notice just 3 breaths, how much you're able to bring your heart rate down, finding resilience so you're ready for the next thing that life brings you. Let's see, moving into our balance pose. So from mountain pose, lifting your right foot and crossing your right ankle over your left knee, shifting your hips back and then down into standing pigeon pose. So your right foot is flexed, your toes are pulling towards your knees, your chest stays lifted, spine is long. Option to hinge at your hips, folding forward, keeping your heart open, keeping your chest open. Slowly rising up out of that and then finding warrior 3. So unbending your right leg, extending it back, hinging at your hips, finding warrior 3. And then moving into half moon. So we did half moon before we were out of breath. So notice how it feels now. Maybe it feels more stable. You've been here before. Maybe it feels a little wobbly because you're still maybe out of breath or a little fatigued. Just notice. There's no right, there's no wrong. There's just being in it. Just notice. Back to warrior 3. And back to standing pigeon. That's how we're going to finish, so the way we began. So crossing your right ankle over your left knee, shifting your hips back and then down. Again, maybe hinging at your hips, keeping your spine long and your heart open. Coming up to standing, unwind and shake it out. Second side, shifting so your left ankle is over your right knee. Hips go back and then down. Your left toes pulling up towards your right knee. Maybe hinging at your hips. Then your heart lead the way. Back up, unwind, finding warrior three. Left leg goes back, hinging, keeping your heart open as you fold forward. Releasing down, finding half moon, second side. And noticing how you feel. Just notice. Shifting back to warrior three. And back to standing pigeon. Hips go back and then down. Maybe hinging at your hips and bowing forward. Standing up all the way, release both legs and shake it out. At the top of your mat, inhale, sweep your arms up, and exhale, forward fold all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step back to downward dog. Inhale, lift your right heel up and back. And exhale, bring your right foot between your hands, pivoting the back foot, coming up into warrior two. Draw your feet together as you pull your wrists apart. Front knees bent, back leg is straight. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, find side angle. 2 more times, just like that. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Reverse and side angle. Inhale, back to warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel your hands, frame your front foot. Back heel pops up. Step back to plank. Same options, push-ups, back bend, or straight to downward dog. Next, inhale, lift your left heel up and back. And exhale, left foot between your hands. Pivot your back foot, pressing up into warrior two. Inhale, reverse, and exhale, side angle. 2 more times, just like that. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Last time, reverse. Last time, side angle. Back to warrior two, big inhale. Exhale, cartwheel your hands, frame your front foot, and then come to tabletop. So both knees come down. So moving into crow or flying frog, we're gonna walk our feet wide outside of our hands, knees wide and elbows pressing into knees and knees pressing into elbows. So flying frog starts from here, rocking forward, more weight on your hands, maybe come up onto your toes. Keep pressing your knees into your elbows and your elbows into your knees and turn on your core. Maybe you can have more weight on your hands, maybe you're up on your toes. So that's flying frog. Option, if you want to do crow, bring your feet closer together, up on your toes so your heels are lifted. Lift your hips and place your shins on your triceps. So that's going to lift your hips up a little bit higher, and then rocking forward, place more weight on your hands, less on your feet. Maybe you're on your toes. Maybe you can lift one foot. Maybe you can lift both feet. I find it helps to gaze slightly forward, not straight down. So play around with those, see how they feel. And when you're ready, when you're done, we'll all meet in child's pose or puppy pose. Palms together, place them behind your head, and press your elbows down into the mat. You might feel a stretch through your triceps. Unwind yourself and swing your legs around so you're seated on your mat and your feet are wide, wider than your mat. Hands behind so your chest can stay lifted. Drop your knees together to the right and have your feet be wide enough so that the left knee doesn't, when you fold over, the left knee isn't on top of the right leg or the right foot. And then switch sides so you can lift up one hip to get that knee down. Back and forth. The next time both knees are over to the right, pause. Come up sitting on your right hip. Inhale tall and exhale, drape your spine, drape your torso over that front bent thigh. So this is a modified pigeon pose. You might need to walk your torso side to find the spot that works best for you. A place where you feel like a yummy stretch. Nothing should be forced. If you're grimacing or you feel like this just sucks, change your stretch. This is if you're sitting here tortured, this is not the stretch for you. This should feel good. If it doesn't feel good, do something different. A figure 4 stretch on your back where your one leg is crossed over is a nice alternative to this. And coming back to both knees up, windshield wiper your feet over so your knees are now both on the left, sitting up on your left hip. Inhale tall and exhale, draping your torso over your front bent thigh. Again, maybe moving around until you find that good spot. And again, if there's no good spot, try a different stretch. That lying down figure 4 stretch is really good. If you don't know what that looks like, it looks like that standing pigeon we did, and then drawing your legs into your chest. It's a very similar stretch. Wherever you are, laying down or sitting up, go ahead and sit yourself up. Swing both feet around and slowly rolling yourself down onto your back. We're going to set up for bridge pose. So you can have your hands down or your hands behind your thighs for a break. Maybe you don't need them. See how slow you can go by rounding through your spine. So hollow out your front body, rolling down super slow, all the way down. Head and neck relax. Bring your ankles right underneath your knees. Setting up for bridge pose. Press down with your heels to lift your hips up. Walking your shoulder blades together so there's an opening across your collarbones. And a straight line in your body from your sternum, from your chest to your knees. So it's not a back bend so much as a chest opener. Maybe your hands can find one another and press your arms down into the mat. If your hands don't find each other, no worries. Pressing your triceps, the back of your arms, into the mat. Drive your knees towards the front of your mat and your heels drive towards your shoulders. So there's a zigzag action without actually moving. It's an energetic pull. And then again, here we are, lots of energy to hold ourselves up, but where can you release the tension? Where is it not serving you? Maybe your jaw, maybe your throat, maybe your eyes, maybe the back of your neck can relax. Maybe your breath can slow down. Go back to those long exhales, even in the face of all of this effort. Find a way to be with the effort. Releasing your hands if they were clasped, bringing your shoulder blades back where they were. Come up onto your toes, your heels lift. Inhale here and exhale, roll down one vertebra at a time, top to bottom, till your tailbone touches, your heels come down, and rocking your knees side to side. Hug both knees into your chest. Maybe your tailbone lifts. Maybe your forehead reaches towards your knees. Relax your head. Hold on to your right knee. Extend your left leg long. Inhale here and exhale. Your right knee over to the left. Your right arm opens to the right. Finding a full body spinal twist. Big inhale and a longer exhale. Softening into the twist. Coming back to center. Hug both knees in. Hold on to your left knee, extend your right leg long. Your left knee drops over to the right, left arm extends to the left, and your gaze follows. Again, finding those long inhales and softening long exhales. Coming back to center, hugging again one time more, both knees into your chest. If there's a pose you'd like to finish your practice with, if there's something else that is calling to you, take the time to do that now. And whenever you're ready, finding yourself in a comfortable resting position, back to that do nothing and be everything pose. Come back to your being. The doing is done. See if you can melt yourself into your mat. Long exhales. Each time something releases. Each time feeling the tension melt away. Whatever thoughts come to your mind, just let them float on, like clouds moving across the sky. Doing another body scan. Notice your head, your neck, your jaw, your lips, your brow, your eyes, your hands, the bottoms of your feet. And every exhale, see if you can release more tension, softening into being even more. Feel free to stay here as long as you'd like, turning this off and staying in this place of quiet being. Or if you feel ready to come back with your breath. Inhale, long exhale. And again, inhale, maybe open your mouth and sigh this one out. Drawing your knees into your chest, rolling yourself onto your side, and pressing yourself up using the strength of your arms, and finding a comfortable seated position. Keeping your gaze soft, or maybe your eyes are closed. Taking a moment to stay in this place, this quiet place of being. The more you cultivate it, the more you practice this, the more you have it in your toolbox for whenever you want it. It's right there for you now. Thank you so much for practicing this with me today, for joining me here. It's such a pleasure to do this with you. I feel you. Even though we're not together, we are together for this practice of self-care, which is really the practice of self-love. Thank you so much for being here.